Hello, it's Brent Sharper, Leverage Lean. This is the macro instructions video for the Move Old Emails macro. In this video, I'm going to show you to install this macro and start using it today. As I work my way down this page, a quick description of what this macro does. It's going to look to an Outlook inbox that you've identified, finding any emails that are read, have no flags marked, and no categories set. It's going to take those emails, putting them in another folder you've identified, keeping emails out of sight, out of mind that you've completed. It's going to help you stay in your inbox and get more done. And another tip to this macro is you can actually schedule it on your Outlook calendar to fire automatically and reoccurring just using the call action from the Outlook calendar reminder macros. And I have a link to those macros here. If you haven't seen the See It in Action video, check out this video. It'll show you the Move Old Emails in action. Continuing to work down, here is the code section, the most important part of this video. But before talking more about the code, if you've yet to set up VBA, this is your first time using it, walk through these 3 steps to activate the developer tab, update your macro security, and set up the references for Leverage and Lean macros, or this code will not work. If you've already completed this, let's go over to the code and copy this. You'll see a transition from the text selector to your mouse pointer. You can double click and then Control C to copy the code. Now going into Outlook, we're going to go from the Home tab over to the Developer tab. In the Developer tab, click Visual Basic. You'll see I have some modules already created, but if this is your first time using VBA, you have to create one. So go ahead and use this black drop down, selecting module. You now have a module 1 to paste with Control V the Move Old Emails code. Now if you're going to create a button and schedule the Move Old Emails macro on your Outlook calendar, go ahead and change the name of this up here, and I put in button to distinguish the separate instances of this code I'm going to have in your project. Now if you want to schedule this on your Outlook calendar, also go back down to the black drop down, select class module. You now have a class module titled class 1 and a place to paste in the Move Old Emails macro. You have to change class 1 to the title scheduled macros to get the Outlook calendar reminders to call this macro. So I've done that there. All right, if I just click save, I now have 2 instances of the Move Old Emails macro. One I'm going to create a button for, and another one that will be called when scheduled on the Outlook calendar. So walking down this code, I have some sections that you can actually customize to meet your needs. You'll see this line here that says end folder title. It says old emails. This is the folder where the emails that have been read and essentially completed are going to live after the macro is completed. If you have a different title to that folder, you can update that here, and then you can go to that folder instead. I also have another section here where I'm setting the start folder. So by default, we're going to look to the default Outlook inbox folder, but if you have a different Outlook account that you'd rather set this up for, you can simply delete the comment here, replace the comment section there, and then in the account name, we're going to type in the email address or the account name that really you want to fire instead. So I also have a Leverage and Lean Outlook.com account that I also want this macro to fire for. So now I've really set that up, and continuing to work down, it's going to then loop through all of the emails within that inbox, and here is the criteria code line where we're looking for emails that are read with no flags marked and no category set. I have some category detail comments here that just kind of explain more of what you're really looking at within that section. Now I did say that this is extremely customizable. Let me know what you want. Just shoot me an email and we can talk more about how to set this code up to do exactly what you need. All right, we're really done in Visual Basic. I'm going to save and then close this, and then back to the Home tab. We're going to create a button for this macro to fire, and I like to put it just right between the delete and response group. To do this, we're going to use this black drop down and go to More Commands, and then click Customize Ribbon. Now we need to create a custom group for this macro to live. So click New Group, and you'll see that there is now a new group just between delete and response. And I like to delete out the name of the new custom group just to keep that out of the way. You can leave it there if you want or change the name. Now we need to move a macro over. So I'm going to go down to Popular Commands, click Macros. Now I'm looking for the Move Old Emails macro button, which I have here. I can just move that over, and then I like to change really the image and the name of this macro. So let's delete button project 1 and then put some spaces here. And the image I like to use for this macro is really this folder with the arrows. Pick any image you want, and now click OK. So now I have this button for the Move Old Emails macro. If I click that, it's going to look to my default Outlook inbox, which in this instance is brentscheider@leveragelean.com. It's going to loop through this inbox, finding any emails that are read, do not have a flag marked, or category set. So if I click that, you'll see now I have some emails that are now moved and moved over to the old emails box. All right, so I also said I was going to show you how to schedule this on the Outlook calendar. I'm actually going to have this go to my Leverage and Lean Outlook email instead. So that here is my inbox for that. If I go over to the calendar, I have a call move old emails calendar appointment already scheduled. If I double click this appointment and open that, I will show you how to set this up. So with the Outlook calendar reminder macros set up, you can now in the subject line put the action call followed by the macro name you're looking to call in that scheduled macros class module. Make sure you have that set up, and then you're really just going to want to look to the start time and then your reminder time. I currently have no reminder time set up, but for the sake of this video I'm going to push this out 6 hours and then save and close. And once that calendar reminder fires, this macro will run, and I can do this reoccurring. I didn't get the pop-up. Do you ever see the reminder just indicated here? You can just click that to get the pop-up to happen and then dismiss. And going back over to the Leverage and Lean Outlook, you see there's no emails that are unread, and they've all been moved over to this old emails folder. All right. So I actually schedule this to reoccur at my full-time job 4 times a day. I just don't have to think about it. I'm just working in my inbox and then getting things done. Okay, so let me show you more of the custom section on this page. If you scroll down, this is where the macro instructions video that I'm recording will live, but I want to talk more about the customization section. So whenever I feel that the macro has the ability to be customized, I try to put some notes in this section for you with a reference to the code line that you can also look at to help you navigate to that quickly. So I've mentioned before the end folder title. If you don't want to use the title old emails, just replace that in the code. Really easy to do, just string change. The startup folder, so really the folder that you're starting at. If you don't want that to be your default folder, you're using multiple Outlook accounts, you can change that to reference a specific Outlook account. The criteria section, do you want the email to be unread, flag status, email categories? You can update that here with some details on the criteria details here of what each of this code change means. And additionally, just a quick section here or a call out. If you don't want to start at an inbox, if you want to start and loop through a subfolder, a folder that is a non-inbox, let me know. There's a small code adjustment that can be made to set this up, and I just made a quick call out to that just by adding the folder subname after the inbox indicator. So a couple changes on that, but let me know if you're interested in that one. Just shoot me an email at brentscheider@leveragelean.com. All right, thank you so much for watching this macro instructions video. Stay awesome.